What's up guys, Sloth here, and we are taking a look at the new Season 3 PTS patch notes. Things are going to be a little different today because I don't have much time. I really need to sleep. It's the middle of the night here. Thank you, Hyros, for posting or presenting the patch notes that late. And I'm extremely busy at the moment, so we're basically going to rush through them, and I don't think that's a bad thing considering they're extremely long. So we got the new Joust map, which I think most of you know about, so I'm just going to skip that. We have some new god cards that I'm just going to open up and then show you in detail right away. They obviously get the corresponding voice packs. We have Amaterasu getting a tier 2 skin. We have an Athena skin. We have a Kukulkan skin, similar to the Fenrir one. We have a Sol skin. That's the reward for all those Japanese Pantheon things. We have the older skin, that's the end reward for Season 1. We have a Sumo Ymir skin. We have the Changa gold skin and legendary and so on and so on. And we have the same thing for Tyr. And Tyr's looks pretty badass if you ask me. At least on the card. Right, we've got a new ward, we've got a new avatar, we've got achievements, blah. Nobody cares about that in comparison to what's about to come in. We have the daily quest system, which replaces the gem and favor per login system, which is interesting. We're going to see how it develops. And there's going to be a new landing page, also kind of a whatever change compared to what happens now. Conquest map change, layout changes. The jungle had a few changes, quite a few. The interesting things here is purple buff is removed. And the speed buff is moved and changed. It's split among 3 minions surrounding the fire giant. And picking up multiple copies of the buff will stack in place to a maximum of 3. For a maximum of 21% movement speed and attack speed. Those are going to be fire elementals. Extremely strong for Mercury. I wonder what will happen to him because, you know, he benefits from it more than anyone else really. But it's going to be good for every jungler, and there's going to be a lot of contention around those buffs. Then blue buff being moved to where the speed buff was, and some minion camps moved towards the middle of the map, and so on and so on. I guess most of you have heard about this before, I hope at least. It's nothing really new. Changes to lifesteal. Little nerfs to hunters here. Lifesteal can no longer heal from more health than a target has. So overkill healing does not exist anymore, which is okay. Small error change, but still a change. New highlighting option, I like that. It's marking targets in a different way. I think it's kind of similar to how it used to be in Fable, so that's pretty cool. Then, yeah, nothing important here, I think. When you mute a player, that now includes social emotes, such as VEL. Then, we get to the active items. Relics. Active system has been heavily overhauled. Now you get an active at the start. It's called Relic, and you get the other one at level 12. And we are gonna jump right into them. Teleport is still inactive. Allows you to teleport to a tower ward right away now, which is nice for solo laners, I suppose. 180 seconds cooldown. Purification, weaker beats. It's good because you get it at the start now, but it only makes you immune to CC for 1 second. Has a 160 second cooldown. However, there are other items that make up for that. We get into that later. Sanctuary. Aegis, however you want to call it. Now, for 2 seconds, shield it for 2 seconds, and you can still move while using it, like the moving Aegis used to be. 160 seconds cooldown. Solid. Blink. 5 seconds before you can actually blink. That's the part that sucks about it. Like, 5 seconds is a long time if you get hit by a minion or anything really. That's the annoying part of it, and it's getting longer and longer. There's no other additional benefit. 120 seconds cooldown. We'll see. Curse slowed by 40% and a 55% unit radius for 5 seconds. Healing reduced by 65%. Good. I don't think it will lose its place completely, but we're getting to others. Scout. Upon activation, you may place a single sentry ward. The cooldown of this relic resets upon returning to your fountain. As far as I recall correctly, you don't get any extra wards because of that. You can't place any extra wards. But it's kind of cool. I don't think it will work as well as the new items will, though. Because you'll see. Wrath. Using this item deals 480 damage in a 15-unit radius to a single enemy minion or jungle monsters. Target is always the one with the highest health. This item deals 1000 damage to jungle bosses. Subsequent effects from your team on the target will deal 50% damage. I'm not sure why it says jungle monsters. I think they mean monster, and it's basically Hand of the Gods. If I'm not wrong here. Might have missed out on that. Sprint. Using this item increases the owners and their allies within 55 units ground speed by 40% for 6 seconds. Also makes you immune to slow through the duration. So Heavenly is gone. Sprint replaces Heavenly now. And no longer has the healing buff on it. But also doesn't get the ult buff back. It's kind of good, but we're getting there. Now we're starting with this stuff I'm talking about. Shell. Using this item gives the owner and their allies a 45 protections buff for 5 seconds. Also, all damage taken is reduced by 15%. Actually, not much of a change. I don't think a change at all. 140 seconds cooldown. But you get the full protections at the start of the match now. And that's a huge difference. Those protections are going to mean a lot in the early game. Plus the damage reduction on top of that. That's scary. You can turn a fighter out with that easily. I guess this will be mandatory on supports. Frenzy. Using this item gives all allies in a 70 unit radius a 20% physical and magical power for 10 seconds, and they deal additional 20% damage to objectives for the duration. This is interesting. This is kind of a support secure thing now, giving you extra damage against objectives. So, not bad. Might see a bit more pickup than it used to as well. Meditation, well, still got healing and mana, blah. Still in the same place. Sunder, though. Fires a bolt that deals 40 true damage and 14 damage per level and reduces the target's protections by 25% for 4 seconds. This is Ignite from League of Legends. It just is. It doesn't have the dot, but it's a crazy amount of true damage. Well, not crazy, but scary amount in the right situation. And then the reduction helps you to really take down a single target. Probably going to see that a lot in mid lane or solo lane, depending on how it gets buffed and nerfed. Consumables, Sentry Ward, vision range decreased as well. Unfortunate. Wow, even less. So now we come into the item changes, and there's a crazy amount. What the hell is going on in my setup today? I'm sorry. This is not working out, Jippy. Defensive item. There's a crazy amount of changes to defensive items. I'm just going to go over the ones that I find worth pointing out that they have some synergy or anything, because there are so many. There's no point over going over every single one and telling you what this is going to be, because half of them are going to get buffed or nerfed anyways. So yeah, we just like skim through them. Breastplate gets a little less CDR here. Breastplate of Valor, still good. Still the dirty bubble stylish thing. Spectral armor. I'm going to read this out actually. In the spirit of our changes to provide more focus around counterweighting, stopping lifesteal is a tool that was needed. This item should allow tankier targets to sit more in the front line, while also preventing enemies from using them to heal. Bounties off of Silver Breastplate, 80 protection, 300 mana, 25% crowd control reduction. Note, crowd control reduction. That's why beats are nerfed. Passive, lifesteal is 50% less effective against you. Each time you get you're hit by a lifesteal effect, there's a 30% chance you gain additional 20 physical protections for 5 seconds. This cannot happen more than once every 20 seconds. So what I don't like about it is the RNG. Just give it a stable effect and not luck. But what can you do? Still, this in combination with Nemean Lion will put hunters down in regards to lifesteal. They have to outdamage and not focus the tank now. They can't focus the tank if you get that and Nemean. Like, they can't even focus a solo laner. And that's crazy. Like, that thing is pretty crazy in itself. But Nemean Lion no longer provides health. So if you get both of these, you have no health on your items. And that's what makes it complicated. It has more protections as well, though. And it provides some mana. Hey, we all get mana from everything. And the armatory, blah, 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 blah. None of those. Well, Midgardian Male has physical protection reduced by half. That's pretty solid. Might also work very well with the new item. And, yeah, Soft gets another nerf. I don't know if that's... I don't know. It's different because it provides physical protection with the aura now. So you get that back. It's very different in how it's designed. Because it no longer gives any magical defense anymore. Then we got the glowing emerald tree, who's just like changing every regeneration item. So we have Son of Gaia getting some changes and no longer providing magic protection, for example. And I'm looking for Mail of Renewal here. Mail of Renewal now has HP 5. Wait, why is the passive not in here? I thought they changed this as well. I'm confused, but whatever, can't tell you because it's not written down here. Just have to deal with it for now. Sorry about that. And Gauntlet of Thieves is bad, but very different because it actually increases all healing received. So, I don't know if it's going to be that good. I doubt it. Not in this state. Then we have the Talisman Tree. Pestilence gets a bit of a buff with the defense there. I like it because it was primarily used against casters anyways, so the 100 health is not going to be as relevant as the protection increase here. Blah blah. And you see Hardwood getting the same change as Sovereignty, so if you want magic defense, you get magic defense now. There's no half-half anymore. Bulwark is pretty crazy, I think. It has reduced health, but it also reduces crowd control effects. And when you take damage below 30% health, you gain a shield with health equal to 150 plus 15 per player level. Actually, it's not as bad as I thought. It's actually different. Maybe the old one was actually better. Oh, somebody has to crack down the math on that one. Because that could be interesting. And now we get to the Enchanted Kusari tree. Some more magic protection. Genji's Guard is a funny thing. 80 magical protection, 20% crowd control reduction, plus 20 MP5, and passive. Your HP 5 is increased by 150% and your movement speed by 20% for 5 seconds upon taking magical damage. Can only occur once every 30 seconds. It's weird. Like, if you have a lot of HP 5, is it gonna be good? Are you gonna stack HP 5 to trigger the passive? You don't have health on it, but then it has CC reduction as well, and it's like an anti-mage item, but it's just a really funny one. I like it. It's weird, and I'm gonna be annoying with extra movement speed. Get that on Amaterasu, and she's gonna be annoying as hell. Well, she might actually make use of them. B5, yeah. Wait, this is for physicals, right? Well, I guess it's for everyone. Good. And then there's Oni's Hunter's Gerb. This is also like a weird kind of thing. 60 magic protection, 15% crowd control. You actually, again, 20 MP5. Every 10 seconds out of combat, you gain plus 15 magic protection, max 3 stacks. Upon taking magical damage, 1 stack is removed. So, this sucks for mages. Because it takes away the burst. If you get... But then again, magical damage, as far as I know, auto attacks would also count as magical damage. So it has to be clarified that that's only spells. Otherwise, mages are just going to try and auto you a few times to get that protection down before. But the initial burst is not going to be as heavy. Like gods like Isis Spirit Bomb, Janus Blast, Poseidon with the Pool Kraken if it's fast enough, stuff like that. Cudgel Tree. This is a good one. I'm having fun with these patch notes, you guys realize, right? Runeforge Hammer was picked more as the best in slot for protection and health than around specific physical protection strategies in Season 2. For Season 3, we've reworked the item to work to fit a new role for characters balancing protections and damage. Frostbound has been reduced in potency. So, Runeforge Hammer now. Now Branches of Heavy Hammer no longer provides physical protection. Now provides plus 30 physical power, reduced health as well, so it's not that much of a defense item, really. New passive. Your abilities now deal additional 15% of your physical power as magical damage against enemies, and 30% of your physical power as magical damage against slowed or rooted enemies. So this is gonna be really good on guards that deal a lot of damage with abilities, and have a root or slow. So who comes to mind? Raven. Raven is probably going to be pretty good with this. Maybe a Willish. Not sure about that. I like the old passive though. I'm going to miss the old passive. I don't think it's anywhere else. But this is funny. Like, counter building is going to suck so bad for some people now. And this is going to be interesting because it's going to do a lot with Joust. But Joust map has changed as well. So there's going to be a lot happening anyways. Smith Hammer's gone. Heavy Hammer. Frostbound loses the slow a little more. 2 seconds to 1.25 seconds. Now we get the own shield 3, shield of regrowth. I get a little power increase, so maybe it will become better on Amateur soon. Shift the shield gets some protections, not much. Void shield gets some power. Blah 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 blah. I saw them. Yeah. Ancile or Ansala, whatever you want to call it. See, I reduced by a little bit. New passive. You gain plus 0.5% physical power from every 1% of missing health. I'm thinking a Willish a little bit. I'm not sure. Or like power scaling guys like Thor. I don't know. But it's interesting at least. Intriguing, so to speak. The Cloak Tree, Spirit Rope, little nerf. But I guess the CC reduction, which is really cool. Out of the Urkin. Get some nerfs because it's not supposed to be as strong early, but then it gains more protections. No, this one's good. Cloak of Unrelenting Sorrow. Branches, the high-risk casters had so much fun with this as well. Branches from Cloak of Concentration. 60 physical protection, 60 magic protection, no health, 15% cooldown reduction. Passive, if you take damage below 30% health, you unleash a shockwave that stuns all enemies within within a range of 20 for 1 second and gain crowd control immunity for 1 second. This effect cannot trigger more than once every 90 seconds. So I don't even know who to build this on. This could be it's definitely going to be really nice as a late game support item. Because you just have that massive CC. If they ever try and take you down, they're gonna regret it. Because then you get CC, so you get a stun for the whole enemy team. Basically, get a free gap AoE in a smaller radius. I think it's interesting, but also very weird. And I'm not sure how and who and whatever will make use of it. But it could, if it turns out to be really strong, I could imagine it being built on pretty much everyone, and then they have to nerf it. So we'll see. Offensive items. Let's go for that. Yeah, Soul Eater gets a nerf because it had health and health on that. Soul Eater was stupid. Now it gives you a very weird passive. Killing an enemy eats their soul, granting 0.5% lifesteal and 0.5% movement speed, max 20 stacks. If you take damage below 50% health, all stacks are consumed, restoring 1% of your maximum health per stack. It could be good on ADCs if they farm up enough, but it's easy to take someone below 50% health once. But it's going to be really good for boxing. But it's also going to be weird. And I could imagine this being picked up on junglers because movement speed. And who knows. But we got a lot of movement speed items. So let's talk about that when we get there. Got the katana tree for that. Oh, that's my favorite tree as a jungler. And we have... It starts off with a katana, which already gives you 5% movement speed and 10 physical power. And then goes up a little bit. And then we got Masamune. 30 physical power, which is actually not that much, bear in mind. 10% movement speed. Passive, you deal additional physical damage against targets with more maximum health than you, equal to 1 power for every 10 health difference to a maximum of 50 damage. I think, as an assassin, you might just hit that. I mean, what's that? 10... Wait, 5? Would 500 be enough? You can't math. Help me out here. Yeah, 500 would be enough. I'm always miscalculating, so I'm rather thinking twice about this. But you get 1 per every 10. Yeah, 500 health difference. That's nothing. So, that thing is gonna be up a lot. And if you're like a fast auto attacker like Kali, you keep those extra 50 damage on every hit. I don't know if it works like kin size. No, wait, you get additional physical power. But that still, it's 80 power. It's a fully stacked trance, basically, isn't it? or somewhat around that. I don't have the number for trends in mind, but it's good. It's not that expensive either, right? Well, we'll see, because it has movement speed as well. Movement speed, my thing. And when you get the stone cutting sword, 50 power, 10% movement speed, melee basic attacks decreases enemy physical protections by 10 and increases your physical protection by 10. This is protection shred. This is really, really, really good. Means that melees can now apply a second executioner, and this is gonna be extremely good. The question is who's gonna use it, because it's a pure power item and it should probably rather be an attack speed item, but you're gonna cut down other physicals with this so well. This is a huge buff for assassins. It's pretty expensive though. And then we have Heartseeker, which is now different again. 15% movement speed, fastest of the tree, and hitting an enemy with a basic attack helps you gain focus, increasing attack speed by 3% per stack, max 5 stacks. At 5 stacks, your next ability cast gains additional 40 physical power. So you probably rather use it for the attack speed than the extra power, mainly, because attack speed guards are not the ones that want physical extra power, unless you're a Willish. Then you're going to throw a big party about the items. So I'm going to do it. What those are lacking, though, is penetration, and that might be a problem. One steals protection, so it works out, but the others, I don't know. And with new defensive itemizations, blah, blah, blah. Execution, a new passive basic attacks against an enemy reduce your target's physical protection by 6% for 3 seconds. Max 6 stacks. Increase attack speed from 20% to 25%. It doesn't take away any flat protections anymore if I see that. And that means this item is going to be a lot weaker against low defense targets and a lot stronger against high defense targets. 6 stacks. I mean, that's 36%. That's more than Titan's Bane, I think. I think Titan's Bane is sitting at 30 or 33. But it takes you a long time to stack that up. So it's not going to be as good, actually. And I'm not sure that works out in its favor, or if the new other tree is going to be working better. But it might just be another hunter nerf in some regard, because hunters don't really want to attack high defense targets anymore because they have more items against them. So, yeah. Ouch. And kin size gets some extra power and a little price decrease, which is helpful. Then we have the mace tree. Jones is, well, nerfed a little bit, taken off 1 penetration and 5% cooldown reduction. Still gonna be core, I think, but there are so many new items that are interesting as well. Bellona's beatstick now works of passive works of abilities rather than basic attacks. Yeah, not a problem. You'll hit at least one ability every so often. Crusher passive now increases attack speed by 10% per stack and increases penetration by 5% per stack. Passive no longer provides movement speed. This is a lot. This will make tower siege heavy, because you get penetration. Thing is, on higher levels, you're still not gonna push towers that much, but like without wiping the enemy first. But it has potential now. I think this could be good in some regards. Hydra's Lament. Increase additional damage from passive from 25 to 30%. Still no pen, nothing on that. No. Original Doom Up returns. Not sure what to think about that. 50 secs are back. You can lose half on death. It's gonna be, oh, he builds Doom Up, let's kill him. But, I might say. Demonic Grip, new passive. Your basic attacks reduce your target's magic protections by 6% for 3 seconds on 6 stacks now. Same as Executioner. Telekines gets some buffs. Might just be good. We'll see. And Spear of Desolation. 130 magical power. 130. 30 magical penetration. Passive. If you kill an enemy god, all of your cooldowns are reduced by 8 seconds. This cannot activate more than once every 30 seconds. This is scary. This is gonna take away a lot of the like natural protection characters have, and you just burst through that basically, and then you get a kill, and then everything is reset, and then you're gonna hate your team if you don't get the kill and somebody else takes it. Yeah, this could be scary, and it's gonna be like even worse in arena and stuff like that. So, ouch. Polynomicon gets a little buff again. Okay, cool. Dynasty Playtime gets a buff. I like it. Celestial Legion Helm gets a buff. Okay. Still not gonna pick it up. Ethereal Stuff. Slightly nerfed. No, actually quite a fair bit of a nerf. Like, rightfully so, it was very strong on many characters. Shuriken. It's a new crit tree. This is Golden Bow and 8-point Shuriken. And that turns into Wind Demon. Wind Demon is an interesting item once again. 40 physical power, 20% crit chance. Your crits now also reduce healing on targets by 40% for 3 seconds. So basically, you can't just auto like you did with Brawlers. You actually have to crit. And that kind of sucks. Because crit as a dependency for anti-heal, it's not like my kind of thing. Because you kind of want it when you need it. But, oh well. More RNG. Hidden Dagger Deathbringer gets a 50 gold increase. Oh my god. Rage. Increased max number of stacks from 5 to 6. Decreased base critical chance from 30 to 20%. I would still like to see this item simply go. Because Rage still has this stacking mechanic that is not very helpful to the game. That basically, if you want RNG, then don't make it forced by Rage. But that's just me. And Malais. Malais is removed from the game and it's now renamed to Malais. Alright. No, it's just a little more expensive. Upwash. Gets less healing from picking up minions, I think. It's all ground, isn't it? And slow on 100 surge reduced. So he gets nerfs. I didn't expect Upwash to get nerfs, but I guess it's because Dirty Bubble worked well on him, to be honest. I guess that's what it is. Amaterasu doesn't get any nerfs yet. Okay, I guess. Later, then. Ao Kwang has gotten a lot of buffs that I honestly don't fully understand. Sure, give the guy some buffs, but consider the impact, because at the moment, there's this guy called the Dirty Bubble who plays Masters Leagues and just destroys everyone with tanky Ao Kwang. Even the pro players, so I don't think you need that much of a buff. You just probably need some readjustments to his kit. But hey, Artemis gets an interesting buff, which is Hurt Boar, Tusky, charging faster, but stunning for 0.5 seconds instead of 1.5. That's cool. I can deal with that. It makes her a little less annoying, but it makes her a little less annoying to play as well. So that's cool. Bellona gets nerfs, bludgeon damage slightly decreased, scorch, disarm slightly decreased. But they already said there's potential for more nerf, so don't even worry. I guess we're at the time where they know they can't just leave her the way she is. Bakasura. He's getting some buffs. Increased base physical power scaling from 36 to 38. Okay. And eat minion. Increased protection buff from 5 seconds to 10 seconds. This is the huge part. This is the huge part because this means you have a lot of protections most of the time while in solo. Or if you want to eat a minion at the beginning of a camp, that works as well. Reduce cooldown from 18 to down to 14 to 15 seconds is our ranks. Means that it might be worth leveling the 1 over the 2, and that might have an impact for Baka. Because you don't level like for the cooldown anymore. And that could bring some change, but overall, I wish she was less minion dependent in a game that's not focused on minions. I've said my opinion on this. Charon gets some nerfs, rightfully so. Multiple instances of healing and no longer stack, but refreshed in duration, and multiple shots get a slightly increased cooldown. Guan Yu. Increased base damage, base movement speed by 10. It's cool. And a bug fix. Hades. Okay, I have to do this. One. How do you bring the mages back into solo lane? You reclassify Hades as a mage. And that's what they did. Cool. Kali. Marked for death. Kali is now rewarded on kills or assists. Kali now hits for 80% of her maximum health on kills and 15% on assists. Increased gold bonus from 25% to 30%. This is now very scary because often you don't get to kill your target. And now you still get 15% of your health back, which is really nice. And I think Kali is gonna do really well, especially with the new items. And I am gonna tell you right now, if this stays the way it is, you're gonna see a lot more of Kali. Capri, Rising Dawn gets another decrease. Damage reduction down to 5% up to 25%. Okay, totally fine with that. And reduce the range on Scarf's Blessing. Totally fine with that. And that's it. Odin can now walk out of his Ring of Spears and has an increased duration and has increased base movement speed, and it's not going to help him, but maybe has some synergy with the items. Raven. Piranha Onslaught. Damage scaling reduced from 95% to 80%. 10-handed Shadow Fist. Cooldown increased from 15 seconds to 18 seconds. Totally fine with me. Nemesis gets a buff. Same as Baka. Oh, this patch. Passive changed. Nemesis holds the Scales of Balance. Hitting enemies with basic attacks reduces their physical or magical power by 4% per hit, while increasing our own physical power by 4% max 4 stacks. And now I have to be honest, I don't know what the value was before. I think they turned in a flat value in between. It's so confusing. No, whatever. We'll see. Either way, Divine Judgment reduce cooldown from 90 to 70 seconds. This is big. Like, the other part is not that big. I mean, she still has a terrible clear early, terrible in that regard. And early game might be very, very important with the new speed buff. So we'll see how that works for her. Maybe the new items will help, especially because some have movement speed, and that really helps her in chasing targets down. But she can basically spam the ult. Get some CDR, and she can just, ult all the time. And that's interesting. That's gonna make her early ganks much scarier. And now, I've been waiting for this one. This one is so good. I'm happy about this one. If you're not happy about this one, then I don't feel bad for you. I'm sorry, but I don't. Because this is a Circuit nerf. And it's been quite a while since I've been saying that I want a Circuit nerf, and we finally getting a Circuit nerf. Base movement speed reduced by 10. It's not the fastest god alive anymore, basically, along with some others. Deathbane increased cooldown from 10 to 12 seconds. Ambush increased cooldown from 15 to 18 seconds. And I probably think the ambush is actually more relevant because Deathbane, yeah, you probably use it once per fight and try to get out afterwards in most situations. But ambush just, gets you out while being chased. Now, after getting chased, you actually have a chance to get caught. And so cat players will have to learn to deal with that. So, Stellar Burst. This ability no longer slows enemy. Like, really? Is that all? Come on. Sure. It doesn't slow. It changes her. But she's still strong. As long as you have somebody else with CC, she's still extremely strong. I would have expected something to go from her 3. Nope, we're getting Stellar Burst. With the same range, same damage, same everything, just no slow. Thor. And I'm happy about this one as well. Warrior's Madness reduced physical power buff from 15 to 10. good. Tectonic Rift, increased cooldown to 17 seconds at all ranks. Once again, I have to admit, I'm not sure how low it can go. I think it was 13, maybe? But could be completely wrong here. So either way, it's increased, so it's good. Vamana gets a buff. Movement speed increased from 365 to 380. This is actually a solid movement speed buff. And increased radius of damage in ultimate from 12 to 16. You have to realize this means that he's chasing you faster in his ultimate and has a larger hit range. So he's gonna hit at least twice more than he did before. And then you get the new items on top of that. I think Vamana's gonna shine. It's gonna have some good potential, especially with the interesting new item options for him. Xing Tian getting some nerfs, adjusted cooldowns for his Furious Roar. So it's an actual nerf because it nerfs his clear as well. Because it's not gonna take him a little longer, given that you usually level the 1 first. Hook Slam gets reduced Axe damage and Slam damage by a little bit once again, but that helps. And Sky Cutting Axe gets a slightly increased cooldown. Problem is he's still gonna get out of every sticky situation very easy with a Sky Cutting Axe. He still has a very potent ultimate for team fights. He still has a percentage-based damage. So yeah, no. Ymir, iRefer. Blame iRefer for this one. Fixed an issue where he would T-pose on death. And that concludes the patch notes, but I would recommend you not being too salty if you think something that should be nerfed hasn't been nerfed yet. I will mention that Neath has not been nerfed, but Scott Gandhi pointed out on Twitter that she will probably get nerfed in round 2. And I expect some more gods to fall into that category. I could imagine, for example, Janus or Shang-Kui or maybe even Isis and, some others seeing some more nerfs or maybe additional nerfs for Bellona and stuff like that, Xing Tian. So, Amaterasu, obviously. I wouldn't be frustrated if something you expect to be changed hasn't been changed yet, because there's so much in this patch and there's so many new items that are basically going to change everything. So, hold your horses with being upset and just enjoy the craziness that's going to follow. Like, join me on PTS if you want, because this is going to be hilarious. Whenever I will find the time to play, that is. Hopefully anytime soon. Until then, thank you guys for watching. I will be back with more edited material, so to speak, next week. I hope you can wait that long. Duke Sloth, out.